everybody. I know we're in a new location. We got two special guests over here. Man, introduce yourself.
Big Mark.
My name Eddie. What's going on?
Y'all know me, goddamn it. I'm same old Marv.
Man, we decided to do the post-election conversation today. And it's really interesting out here in the world right now, especially the United States, where we have President Trump, who has not conceded as of yet, who said that he is still the winner. And Joe Biden has actually lost, even though the numbers say something different. And my man, as of today, he still got like at least 60-some days left in office.
Yeah.
So he can make a lot of changes. He already fired the Secretary of State, which Secretary of Defense,
Right.
which was some hellified shit to do.
Yeah.
Because how you fire a man who got access to all the missiles? That's some crazy shit.
Has he named a replacement yet?
I'm not familiar.
Probably not. Game.
So we kind of naked right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Got our pants down right now.
Yeah, man. I mean, just kicking it off, man. I just think all of it's crazy, but I'm not surprised. Y'all know it's been that way for the last 4 years. You might as well say 4 years. You know, my man came in on some mess. And I guess he said
He gonna end on some mess.
Yeah, but it's gonna still be the same because people keep forgetting that, and I try to remind people all the time that 72 million people voted for him.
Yeah.
Even though 75 voted for the other guy. And so that's the issue. You still have to contend with the people who voted for the person who lost. You know, and that's the problem that, you know, a lot of times we get mad at the actual person who won, the figurehead, but you have to account for everybody who voted for that person. And that's the biggest thing that we're gonna have to contend with, you know, in the future, because hey, families are broken up because of this shit.
Yeah.
You know, and it ain't gonna be any different because now the shoe's on the other foot. Now the other side gonna be pissed because their team lost. You know, so that's the issue.
I mean, but in the grand old scheme of things, is your life really gonna change no matter who's in office?
Exactly.
That's pretty much how I feel. You know, I'm not gonna get too hella bent out of shape about either candidate.
Yeah, I think, but I do. Again, I don't think voting is the end all, the be all. But I think one of the things we learned by him being in office is that, well, he didn't follow the guidelines left by the previous guy. And I think because he got in and he decided to trash everything that Obama left, that's why we in this fucking pandemic. I don't know if you guys know that or not. The rule book, the playbook that they left behind in case this kind of shit happens, they threw that shit to the side. So when the shit actually happened, they had no fucking guidelines.
They had no guidelines.
They didn't follow no fucking guidelines. Yeah, I mean, shit like that, that shit like that matters. And, you know, we got to be aware of that. Like, you know, everything is not, you know, end all to be all, but that's one fucking thing that I can't even ignore. That, you know.
Yeah, he's very negligent for the simple fact. I don't know if y'all remember.
But I'm not negligent, Mark.
Yeah, it is because
he just says fuck it.
But that's negligence because I don't know if y'all remember when Obama was in office, they predicted this was going to happen when he ordered to have 1 million coffins made. Y'all remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
That's a direct correlation of what's going on.
Yeah,
right
that's
now.
the same thing. I guess the same thing I'm saying.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
So what Trump did was negligent.
Yeah.
They need to put his feet to the fire for that.
But they're not. They're not.
No, absolutely
They're
not.
not.
Absolutely not. I could care less who's the president, honestly. That's just how I live my life. I don't care less who the president is. I'm not emotionally wrapped up into who's sitting in that chair, who's making those laws, because I affect my life. My decisions affect my life. My thoughts affect my life. You know, how I live my life affects my life. He or whoever is in that office has 0.0001% effect in my life. Now, on local politics, that's a little bit different. But him, he doesn't affect my life. Because from what I've heard about, like he signed a tax bill that's supposed to raise taxes for people who make less than $75,000 a year, right?
Yeah.
So if you 75,001 cent, you're not going to be affected by this new tax bill that's supposed to come up in 2021, right? So I feel sorry for y'all who ain't in that bracket. So and it's gonna be sad because you're gonna be like, man, I got less money now. Trump is a businessman, and if you are not a businessman or you don't think like a businessman, you know, it's pretty sad out here.
Yeah.
Because I think, and this is my issue with black people and being so gung-ho about getting Trump out of office, is that everything was an emotional thing. It's like, okay, he quote unquote is a racist, but to me he exposed where all the racists were. He let you see everybody's face.
I like that part about him.
I love that part about him. You seen every racist face that you've never seen before. I love that part of that. I love that.
He don't hide it.
No,
but you can respect that.
Yes, I like to know who my enemy is in front of me. I don't want to be thinking we buddies and then I turn my back and here come all the arrows and guns and bullets are coming at me. I like that.
And then you got the other guy, he want to kumbaya, but we know your track record too.
Yeah.
You know, with the crime bills and what have you. So
I seen a video with him. He was I think back in the 70s. He's like, we already got a nigger for mayor. You're like, we need another nigger?
Right. And people want to, you know, brush that under the rug.
Right.
I just say.
Do you think a person can change?
I believe anyone can change. I don't want to be held to who I was 20 years ago.
I definitely don't want to be held to
I don't want to be held to that person.
But Eddie, my only problem with the lack of change is, oh, you're gonna change now. Because you've been in politics for 40 fucking years. How long does it take? Because you was doing bullshit in the 70s and 80s.
And 90s.
Right, I ain't even talking about 90s.
Okay.
We talking about 70s and 80s.
Right.
Before you did the 94 crime bill. Okay, so let's say you did the 94 crime bill. You done fucked up people's family and lives. How did you repay that? You know what I'm saying? You sent people to jail for using drugs and selling drugs. But now I can go down the street and buy a bag of weed at the motherfucking store. And the sad part about it, the people that you was locking up are the last people or the people who you didn't allow to get the stores. That's the bullshit that I hate. So how about you open up the jails, whether it's him or the administration that's there now or that's coming in, let everybody out of jail that's in jail for slinging drugs, for selling weed anyway. So now you're making a profit off of some shit that you was locking people up for. And I know some people that was going to jail for, man got caught with 5 bags of weed, we'll give him 3 years for 5 bags of weed. But now you can go down the street and buy half an ounce and smoke it. And I was seeing this shit, it's so cold-blooded. I was sharing this shit with y'all when I was in Colorado, just about 3-4 years ago. They go to the weed store. I'm like, I'm taking pictures. You know I'm a damn tourist because we ain't had no weed stores 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. The weed store, the police right here, white folk coming out the weed store with bags of weed. And I'm like, nah, when I go home, you getting arrested for this shit. This is like 7, 8 years ago before the store was in Chicago. And I'm literally taking pictures like, this is some crazy shit. Of course, white folk get to do the shit first. And of course, anybody that know me know I'm far from a racist, but here we go again. I'm in agreement with you guys. I think you just said this. I'm not excited about the new guy coming in because the system is still the same. You just got a new figurehead on top of it. If you're not going to dismantle the system that's fucked up, we just going to be pissing in the wind again because all you're going to do is emotionally stroke us until the game starts. Then you're going to put us all on the bench and put everybody else in the game before us.
I agree, but you have to remember too, that's what politics is all about. First of all, none of these motherfuckers are saints. You gotta remember that.
I agree.
That's why I asked you the question, do you think a man can change? And I say that as far as being a politician. Because I don't think his heart changed. I just think his stance has changed based on him trying to get fucking elected.
But why did you think he picked Kamala for his running mate?
To win. That's why he picked her.
Okay.
You know, and he said, because he picked her to win. I mean, there's no other reason. Because many times vice presidents and presidents ain't buddies. It's a working relationship. You know, and so he knew picking her would get those votes. And again, it ain't about his moral stance, his moral heart. It's about what he needs to do to win.
It's about playing the game.
And so, that's playing the game.
Yeah.
That's playing the game because he picked somebody who we feel is behind us, so we're gonna vote for him because he picked her, and that's all tied together. And again, it ain't about the moral stance. Politics is all about how can I win.
I'm gonna pose this question. How did y'all feel, or you might not felt anything, you might not have went to the polls, but how did y'all feel going to the polls? What was going through y'all head when y'all was going to, pick, either
I'm
Trump
out of that
or-
question.
Okay.
One shit going through my head, because I was like, this. I mean, it's the same old same. It's just a different person driving the bus to me. So I mean, how excited! I talked to plenty of people that I love and respect, and they're like, man, it's the day before, and they're like, I don't even know if I'm going. And I can respect if you went or if you didn't go, because people tired of the same old same.
Tired of the
Again,
same old.
go back to what I was just saying. It's the system itself. If you're not going to change the system, ain't no need of you changing the face at the top of the person that's driving the bus, because the system is the same. Again, you bring us to the party as if you're going to let us come in and dance and get down. Then when everything starts, you tell us to stand off to the side, and everybody else get to enjoy the festivities and everything. And it's shame on us as black people. We don't still know how to stay united. I'm in agreement with you. I think he picked Kamala Harris because he's trying to win. And that's part of the thing that's helping him win. I don't know if they're ever going to do a recount. I think my man's requesting a recount or some bullshit like that.
They probably will. It's gonna drag on probably, well into December. I think.
January 14th.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
A week before they gonna kick him out.
The recount will be over by the 20th.
Yeah.
So what?
November.
November. So next week, huh?
Okay. It's supposed to be over.
That's next
They
Friday.
already predicted that the recount is not going to make a change because they do, they study this shit. And so they know already if you got 100,000 votes and normally only 15,000 change over, that's still not enough to overtake
To change
the
numbers,
next
yeah,
person.
yeah.
Even if you got the highest amount of that 15,000 to change over, the other guys still have the victory.
Yeah, I got you.
So, I mean, I just, I do it because I know, hey, I don't take a lot. Hell, actually, I did something new. I did mail-in.
Okay.
That was nice for me to
Okay.
take my envelope, walk past all the motherfuckers standing in line. Well, the good thing about it, you know what they do too? They send you an email if they got your shit.
Sometimes, because my dad, he did the mail in, and I don't know if if he ever got confirmation or not. He was still waiting a week before the election. He still hadn't heard anything whether or not they got it.
Well,
So
I got a confirmation.
I think a whole lot of people probably got left out.
Probably.
I think this people did get left out. No doubt.
Yeah.
But none of this stuff was 100%, man.
Yeah.
I just didn't trust the mail-in thing. Well, anyway, I didn't. I was like, I've been voting for 28 years. I remember the first election I voted in was, for Clinton. I was all excited,
Yeah.
And then, as time progressed, the less excited I got until, of course, Obama ran the first time. And now, I find myself going in there, because I early voted. And I'm like, well, even if I wanted to vote for Trump, I can't because don't you got to declare if you're going to switch parties first?
When you do the general, you should go in and put either one. When you do the
I wasn't going to vote for him anyway, but I was just saying to myself, damn, I really don't like none of these candidates, but I just went on here and picked the lesser of two evils,
But it's the bullet, huh?
But see, that's the reason why I don't. I'm tired of picking the lesser of two evils.
Right.
How come we can't pick beneficence? How come we can't pick something that's good? How come we can't pick something that's good for everybody? Because
I can answer that.
I'm gonna close that.
I had to ask.
First of all, the system's not designed for everything to be good for everybody. It's not designed.
Right, exactly.
But the thing is that this is where I hold black people to the fire, is because we don't have enough organization. We don't have a plan for ourselves. And this is why Joe Biden said the first people he's gonna work with is the LGBTQ community. Why? Because they got a plan. They got money.
Right.
Black people don't have a plan, they ain't got no money. Or if we do got money, we spend over $1 trillion a year, but that money ain't brought together to do one thing.
I was just about to say, collectively, if we all came together, we would.
Yeah, we would.
There's a lot of people doing well, but it's like every man for themselves.
Right. We the only community that practice, I got mine, you got to get yours.
Right.
We the only community that practice that. And that's why we see our communities in the condition they're in, because we can go to Chinatown, their economic system is good. We can go to Jewtown, their economic system is good. We can go to every other nationality. except for us, because we don't have a community, and it's chaos.
Yeah. Right, you can find a barbecue joint, a storefront,
a liquor store. You got plenty of them. You got plenty of storefront churches. And I want to say that about the storefront churches, because the storefront churches take the TIF dollars, the tax incremental funding, out of the community because they don't pay taxes.
Right.
So if we don't have, if we were supposed to pay taxes, you have better streets, you have better everything in the community, but it's so many churches in our community that taxes are not being paid.
Right, the money is going in, but it ain't coming back.
So therefore, our communities look the way they look. But a lot of people don't know that. The reason why black communities look the way they look because there's so many churches in one concentrated area. In one concentrated area. And so the tax dollars cannot fix the community. And that's not on accident.
No, it isn't. I remember one. I don't remember who told me this or where I heard this from. But it's like in a 3-block radius, it was like 12 churches.
That's crazy.
In the storefront churches, but
yeah.
Why do you have those many churches?
Why y'all competing with each other? Why all y'all come together?
It was raggedy. You had liquor stores, you had churches. It was like 10 or 12 churches in a 3 or 4 block radius.
That's crazy.
And it's like the little MB Baptist church, the little such and such congregational church, the Holy Spirit church. Then you had one big church where you like, but why not just everybody like, well, we all huddle up, okay, we're going to set everybody down, we're going to just create one big church for all of our, we can come up with the name, you know, create a committee, we can, and I've always said, this is just me, I think, like, let's just say Chicago, why not have 8 churches? I mean, make them real big where it's enough for everybody, and we just change
one church for each.
Right, you can't go to the morning, afternoon, and evening service. You get which service you going to. Okay, when you went to the first, you just switched around because, like, it goes back to what you're saying. Unless you come up with a plan that makes sense, you got 8,000 churches in Chicago, but it's siphoned from the TIF dollars, which is part of the reason why our shit is messed up. But nobody wants to address it. Well, you supposed to get the pastor said and. Come on, man.
And the pastor is sweating you for the tithes, but where them tithes going?
Where the tithes going?
I like preferable dollars.
We still don't know where the tithes are going.
Come on, dog, you want a new jet? A jet? I ain't saying bicycle.
I'm not funding your damn jet.
But it's up to the people to make that, to recognize that, make a difference.
See, but Eddie, my problem with that, I'm sorry to cut you off, my problem with that, when you hear comments like that, we all assume that everybody thinks the same. The 4 of us sitting here, we have some similarities in the way we think, but we all don't think the same.
Right.
So we can't hold people accountable because you're not sophisticated enough.
You don't think so? You don't think hold people accountable for their
not if you're not sophisticated enough. If you're not taught how to learn what you're looking at, that's like when you go, you're a new person in the city and you don't know when this motherfucker coming up to you, you running the game, he doing a Molly trick on you. If you don't understand, he about to get you. I know you think you got good vision. I ain't seen motherfucker do this shit in front of you and you
True story. I mean, this happened to me before. I was with my parents, my wife Linda, and I think my niece might have been with us. I don't think Eric was with us. And we was in New Orleans, you know, we were just doing our thing, you know, we had just came back from the, you know, how they had a Bayou Classic every year, we had just came from one of those. Matter of fact, yeah, Eric was with us, my phone. And we were walking toward the, you know, our cars in the parking lot and whatnot. And so this guy comes up to me, he says, I bet I can guess where you bought your shoes at. I'm like, what? I looked at him like, you know, because now the street one came out of the right. And then he repeated it, so he's like, I bet, then he said, if I guess where you bought your shoes from, you gotta give me your shoes. I looked at him and was like, motherfucker, you better get the fuck away from me. Excuse my French.
Hey. That's what I'm trying to say. Say what you want to say.
That Chicago came out of me then. It's like, okay, let's get it. You know,
right.
I dare you to take my shoes off my feet.
Right.
And he kind of walked away after that. But I'm like, I think just because I guess I had tourists, you know, slapping on my forehead.
Like what you proved my point. If you don't know the streets, if somebody say that to you, you're gonna panic and give up your shoes.
Right.
As opposed to know how to get the motherfucker up off you. I remember I was at a goddamn party, I had on this nice jacket. And they didn't make a lot of these jackets because it was given to me. And I was walking down the stairs and I saw these niggas as I was coming down, they was coming up. I'm like, oh, here they come. Bullshit niggas. So my man's out there, he's like, hey, my man, that's a nice jacket, let me try it. I'm like, first thing like, who the fuck you talking to?
Right.
Because I already know what you want.
Right.
I see your crew with you, dog. You take the jacket off, you ain't getting it.
Right.
And I'm like, well, right. Now I'm with my crew, and I'm like, who the fuck you talking?
Right.
Let me keep it moving, because I didn't come out here for that.
Right.
But I understand, and I'm already ready to defend myself, so I'm not gonna panic. And we just using street shit. So you talking about something that's not violent, and they can rock you to sleep. Well, if you don't know the past, and we assume that everybody's sophisticated enough to be able to figure this shit out. And unfortunately, we're not. You're not even taught how to win. Y'all know, the three of y'all heard me say this shit. I think most of us are educated to fail in the first fucking place.
Absolutely.
You know, and then you trying to assume that everybody's gonna see it the same way. We're not monolithic people. We're not gonna think the same and see everything the same. So we gotta be accountable for the person that don't know how to get down. If all of us went to the health club, all of us want this the same thing. So it's shame on any of us to do it. Well, we all should be able to bench 450 pounds. No, nigga, this is my first day in there. You know what I'm saying?
But we got to get to a point too where we can get enough of us to have that same mentality. I think, because hey, as you pointed out, other communities do. So
Yeah,
that means we can do it.
but why did they do it? Because their culture is
Well, they have that culture capital that we don't have.
we don't have it.
But I think we can build it. It's gonna take time. I think we can build it.
But see, that's the thing. Let's go back to our conversation. We start over every generation. We're starting over because the last generation didn't give the present generation what they needed to have. Now it's not against them because a lot of them was in survival mode. When you're surviving, you don't know how to do nothing else but survive.
It's a disconnect too between young and old.
Right now, it's a major disconnect.
Yeah.
But you can also bridge that gap. I think as time goes on, we don't necessarily see it right away. The gap is bridged little by little, not so much where you can see it right away in big chunks. But I do believe what I was taught, it translates to me. Some of it has, not all of it. And I believe that what I'm teaching my son, translating to him, not all of it, but enough of it, because not only do you still, when you're young, you have your own thoughts and everything else, but you still pull a little bit about from what you were taught, because that's your basic. I think that it's not moving as fast as we want it to move, but I do think it's moving.
But Ed,
go ahead.
But Ed, I think it's like spotting a damn unicorn. It's you don't see it. You know, I share the stories of some of the stuff my son used to say to me when he would tell his friends that, you know, me and my dad going out to father-son lunch. Some of his friends were amazed. You and your dad go out and eat lunch? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Hey man, a lot of men ain't there. I'm talking men. I ain't talking about what's being presented to everybody that they see.
It's not all their fault though.
I'm in agreement. So not just totally disagreeing with you, but there's a system that's placed in front of us that's designed to separate our shit.
True.
And that's so you see what you see when you go outside. You hear these kids talk. I ain't never heard so many pretty girls talk so fucking foul in my life. Fuck that bitch. You be like, why she gotta say that? You can't say nothing to them because they're gonna aim it at you.
They're gonna aim it at you.
They're gonna aim it at you next.
Right.
So I don't know this. So to keep the peace, let me keep it moving. Let me keep it moving, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm driving down the street. I see more girls do raggedy shit driving than anything. Baseline on the car, running the lights. One time I'm driving down, I'm doing at least 40 miles an hour. I'm on 75th Street. Between Cottage Grove and Stony Island, it's a nice little open little path.
Yeah.
The two chicks jumped to the next lane to pass me up. Now I just said I'm doing 40. I look a girl. And I'm not trying to shit on women because anybody that know me, I'm going to war for the girls that I know and love. But I see a lot of raggediness because there's not enough men around to create balance. Everything on the fucking planet requires balance. Our neighborhoods, our race of people are unbalanced because they wipe the men away. So now you got boys trying to act like men, and you got women trying to act like men because they was told to read the Steve Harvey book, act like the man. That
We were just talking about that today.
Yeah. and I'm not
Don't get me started on that.
Yeah. Please get started, don't matter. You know. But I'm in agreement with you. We got a little work to do. I think we've made some strides, but it's almost like 4 steps forward, 2 steps back. We still 2 steps behind when everybody else is still in front of us. Yeah. We make a little progress, but once we made a little progress, they set the game up, well, y'all, since y'all made a little progress, we're gonna give them some more progress. we already almost caught them with the little progress, but they gave them some free progress. So now we got to work extra hard because they gave them some more free shit. You just said he coming into office and who we going to work with first? The LB. See what I'm saying? Why would you start with them first when you already know we in last place?
Right.
So we're going to be in last place?
It's by design.
Absolutely.
I mean,
I don't know if y'all remember, well, of course I know y'all remember, when conscious rap was was a big thing.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it's like out of nowhere, like I say probably 92 or 93, they just shut it down.
Mm-hmm.
And everything was chronic and gangster rap.
Yeah.
But I think I like to think, where we could be right now had we stayed on that path as opposed to the path that we're on right now.
But see, all right, now this goes back to what I just said. We start over every generation. Black people have such low self-esteem that we want to look a certain kind of way to people, not knowing that your physical prowess doesn't intimidate nobody. People are intimidated by your mind.
Yeah.
Right.
They're intimidated by what you can do with your mind, how you can bring things into reality from here.
Mm-hmm.
That's what intimidates people. That's why we're regulated to entertainment.
Yep.
They don't take us serious on no other type of shit because why? We ain't talking about no other type of shit.
Yeah.
If it ain't about, oh nigga, I'll beat the fuck out that nigga. I watch all these movies with the nigga's the tough guy, and they take him out the quickest.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He's the first person taken out.
Yeah.
We're showing you we're not afraid of you being having a physical presence.
They never have been.
Never have
From the
been.
moment Columbus got here on, in 1492 or whatever. But yeah,
It's about how you use the mind.
Yep.
Well, you always said nerds rule the world.
but that's a true
That's true.
statement.
That's
Because the person who could take their ideas out of their mind and bring it to the earth
Right.
is dangerous.
Right. That's right.
Because they can influence more than anybody.
Right.
So I love rap music. I still listen to it to this day, but I grew up in the conscious time.
Me too.
I was influenced by X Clan.
Right.
I was influenced by Boogie Down Productions and Poor Righteous Teachers and Brand Nubian and Public Enemy.
Right.
That was my shit.
Yeah.
That was all our shit.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I'm this person today,
Right.
because of that music.
Yeah.
But they always try to say, well, Schwarzenegger was killing people in his movies, and that should have more of an impact. No, music has a vibration
Yeah.
because we vibrate.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when that vibration hits the right vibration, you are locked in. It hypnotizes you,
Right.
and you will fall into it. That's why they know this shit right here that they're playing now. This I just mumble rap, drill music, all this shit. It has influence over the youth.
Right.
I don't want to listen to my parents. When my mother, I was listening to X Clan. I'm like, Mama, you ain't never heard of Marcus Garvey? She's like, who was that? Oh, Mama, I'm like, how you ain't never heard of Marcus Garvey? I ain't never really heard of Marcus Garvey before X Clan. You know what I'm saying? But I'm being told about Marcus Garvey at 15. So that made me want to go and find, who was Marcus Garvey? And then I find out, I'm like, oh shit, he fought for the liberation of black people. So they're not getting that today. Only thing they're getting is bottom of the basement ass shit. Fuck bitches, get clothes, get money, get drunk,
cars,
get cars. All this shit that's disposable. And you gotta always try to keep up with it or get some new shit. It ain't never about, hey man, you a man. I don't have a man in my life. Can you help me out?
Yeah.
I need a man in my life.
To teach me how to
To teach me how to be a man.
Yeah.
But a lot of them, they look at us like, oh, you old, you don't know what you talking about. Get your old ass out the way. Get the fuck out of here. This is my time now.
Right.
They don't, it's that disconnect.
And Mark, you're right, and that's part of that, in my opinion, is because they wipe real men away from the household. Because if there was a man there, you wouldn't be saying that because you respect your dad.
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, oh, he the same as your mother. How you doing, Mr. Such and such? And we all do it because we all grew up on the same block.
Yeah, we all respected our coaches.
But guess what? We all saw each other's fathers, right?
Right.
So again, so when you take that away, I can't even really think about somebody in the neighborhood whose dad wasn't there. But it's going to be
Reggie.
Who?
I'm just gonna say the word Reggie.
Yeah. It was a different beat. It was a different rhythm.
He was still cool, but
but you can see you can feel what you just said about the music. it's a different vibration when you walk in. People have a different bounce about themselves. It's a different, but when I hear them talk, your energy is different versus when you hear somebody that's, you know how you reading the book and it's a couple of pages missing? It's like the alphabet. You go from D to X. Like, wait a minute, there's some shit missing in between.
Really, all the brothers that was like, I ain't gonna just single him out. It was really all the guys in his age bracket up under us. You know,
but that's around the time when they started running men away. You know, we were kind of that last frontier where you had the men around. But after that, I tell the story. I know somebody in my family where they walked the motherfucking husband out the crib. All of a sudden, some people in my family started doing some different shit. When Pops was there, there was a straight and narrow. We went around about 6 years later, not just them, but the neighborhood changed. Oh, we kind of found out they ran most of the men in the neighborhood away. All of a sudden, you got to watch your back when you're going over here. The only thing that got us through, my cousin was, so they knew us from my cousin them.
Right.
When all the men were there, it was none of that shit jumping off. Everybody was stretched off the grass. You know, you had to walk around here. When the men got out the neighborhood, motherfuckers walking on the grass, all of a sudden, there ain't no grass, it's all dirt.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So all of that stuff matters, and then we fast forward to where we are. Well, we're gonna have to get it together as black folk, but you're not gonna get it together when the system's designed to fuck you over. All you do, you got a new bus driver driving the bus that's gonna take you to the same motherfucking spot, unless we all gonna be for real about the game. You're gonna change the presidency, okay, we're gonna change also how the system is ran. Because if you're not gonna change the system, it's gonna be filtered down. Oh, these 10 people got together, why y'all can't get y'all shit together? And then you kind of find out that they paying them out, you know, on the backside, hush hush, just to make it look like y'all really getting down, but you make no changes. We got a black caucus. What's the good shit that they've done that you can sit here and brag about? All of us are 40.
If you're not in that clique, then they're not gonna look out for you.
But you proved my point. Why you gotta be in the clique? The only time Americans be on the same team is if you at war. If you ain't at war, good luck, motherfucker. You should be able to man up.
Well, I think sometimes too, we gotta remember too that politics is local too. One of the ways, and I guess one of the things that I try to bring is I try to think about solutions. You know that the solutions are not easy. And one of the things that you talk about with the presidency is so high that he doesn't necessarily touch everyone on the local level. So we got to start with the aldermen who go at it with the mayor, which are close. We can touch all of them, and we can touch our mayors, and then you go filter off from the mayors to the governors and everything else. So we got to start at the bottom with the aldermen who we can see we touch. Not only do we vote for or vote out, we can actually talk to that person. Then they deal with the mayor as well. Remember, we got a representative democracy. We don't have a direct democracy. So that's something that we got to start on the lowest level and work our way up. All that shit gonna take time. It's all gonna take time.
Hear what you just said. You said we got to start.
Yeah.
You know.
But I mean, for change. But every time you want to change.
Look how old we are. Look at our parents. Our parents were saying the same thing 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah, but I think also, too, you got to remember, too, it's always going to be a back and forth because with democracy, you're going to have one side or the other. The same side ain't going to always win. You got to think about that, too. The same side ain't going to always win. And it's a lot of times, and it's natural, the side that didn't win is going to try harder to win the next time. The side that won is a little more complacent. And so you're going to have that, that back and forth because, again, as you say, one thing we have to agree on, what you said, is this system is designed where not for everybody to be on top at the same time. Somebody can always be on top, somebody can always be on bottom. But you got to try to get to the point where most of us can be benefited for something because it's not going to be where everybody's going to benefit. That is something that people may have disagree about, but it's the way our system is designed. Everyone's not going to agree. They're not going to be on top at the same time.
But Eddie, I don't disagree with you. You just proven the fact, and I know you know this, that you need a new system. Everybody don't have to be on top. Look, all of us ain't got to make $10 million a year.
We're afraid of socialism, Marv. The people, the people. What they call when people, everybody,
and rightfully so.
Yeah,
well, you don't want to have.
I agree to say that.
You don't want to have.
You got some people that like it. Again, it's the people. Some that like it, some don't. If you're not gonna have that where everybody agree 100% on all you say.
I mean, when you think about it, we already got socialism.
Yeah, but wait a minute. What group of people don't like it, but everybody wants it? You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you rich, you want the tax, but you know what I'm saying?
Doesn't want it.
The people that don't want it don't understand it.
So okay, the people who benefit from these social programs, it's called government subsidy.
That's my point.
They're
Everybody only
getting
gets
free
it.
shit.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Same shit.
so people on welfare, and this ain't black people. There's more white people on welfare than black people.
Right.
They're getting socialist programs.
Right.
Every month.
Right.
Every month that card is refilled up with money.
Right.
So they can go take care of their families.
Right.
That's socialism.
I agree.
But like what you saying, they will come on TV and say these niggas need to get it together.
Well, yeah, they always gonna put our faces in front of
We're the underbelly.
But that's why I say everybody don't understand what socialism is. They're getting free shit, just like the rich people, they want tax rates. Everybody wants it, really. But just because you don't have an understanding or you bullshitting and playing the game, y'all gonna have to get up off your ass.
But you know what though, it's dangerous because y'all might not agree, but I feel like socialism is one step away from communism.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, you know, when you start talking communism, that's a whole nother ballgame.
I agree. I agree with that. Okay, so but what do we do? What kind of a system do we run then? Because y'all, we talking 400 years. Let's eliminate 300. Let's just talk about the last 70. For the last 70, the game ain't working. And again, we all ain't got to make $500,000 a year. If you pay everybody that's working on the planet that's trying not to break the law, let's just say everybody made $80,000 after taxes. Do you know crime will go away? Unless you want there to be crime so you can make money on the backside. Again,
They don't want crime to go
but
away.
I'm in agreement with you. So now we back to the system. Unless you're gonna input a system that makes sense for everybody to be okay. We all don't have to be millionaires. And I think if everybody made at least 80,000, I don't think people like be breaking their neck to become millionaires. If I did, cool. But if I didn't, I'm comfortable enough where me and my family could be cool.
But you know, Marvin, in other parts of the world, that actually happens. So it can be done.
Oh,
I mean, it can be done. It can be done, but they don't want it for the simple fact jail is big business.
Jail is huge business.
It's on the stock
Let
market.
me pose this question to you three brothers again. What kind of motherfucking system did we come up with? Because the game starting over, what, January, what is it, whatever, 21st or whatever, 19th, whatever.
Yeah.
It starts over, you got a new bus driver driving the same
They're not
bus.
going to take it away from us.
I'm in agreement.
Because you got towns that are towns that are functioning because of a prison being there.
Yep.
You take that prison away, that whole town shuts down.
So the game is set up for us to lose.
Yeah, it's set up for us to lose.
Go back to what I've been saying, yeah.
So, I mean, because we got to think about the purpose of black people even coming to America was to be slaves, right? The purpose was never us to come from at the bottom. We was always supposed to be at the bottom. That's why our memories was wiped.
Yep.
So you could never come up out of this shit.
Yep.
We can go back and connect to Africa as all you want to. You know, we're going to colonize them too.
Yep.
We are in a new environment. Black people are used to living in what's called a theocracy. We used to be in an environment where we believe that God ran everything. We followed the laws of nature. That fell down to us. We had our king, our ruler. We had our own government, but it all was centered around God.
Right.
This ain't that shit.
Nah.
This is not that.
Not even
but
close.
that shit in us is still trying to come out of us because it's still in our DNA. It's still in our DNA. That's why we run to religion very quickly.
Yeah.
Because we have that affinity to that way of living. But when we look at this shit, we're like, man, this shit is so fucking foreign. How come I can't be me in this? Because they don't want you to be you. We want you to be what we want you to be.
Yeah.
Me and you just made this analogy.
Yeah.
You got the left foot on the right shoe. You got the left shoe on the right foot. It don't work.
Yeah.
And we keep trying to make it work.
And
But you know that shit ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
The shoe is hurting the foot. We got
bad
a medium
feet.
shirt on when we
Yeah,
know
yeah.
it's too big for the damn
You ain't got
shirt.
no good blood circulation. You
Man, everything is fucked up
Yeah.
here for us. And I'm not talking, revolution or shit like that, but what I am saying, we gotta revolutionize our minds. We have to be able to say, okay, how do I work in this system, but not really be in this system? The only way black men can work in this system, I have to say this, is entrepreneurship. Because as long as them motherfuckers can tell us no, they control our destiny.
They control our destiny.
When you say yes to yourself, you control your destiny.
You can say yes to yourself when you know
it's so
yourself.
hard though.
There it is.
But I'm gonna say this again. But they teach you to fail because they don't need you to know yourself. I agree with you. We operate under the umbrella of God. I believe in a higher power. You have to, because all of this didn't just come from nowhere. But they have you believing that we're going to look at man first. I never look at man first because the game is being played by man and we all being played. So if you know how to look within inside yourself and find who God intended for you to be while you walk the planet, I think all of us would be cool. But if they teach you some shit that don't allow you to go in so you can learn who you are, I'm going to teach you how to do calculus. Calculus is needed on the planet. But goddamn it, you can't tell me that. I give you this one. I always say this. I think that they should have an opposite sex class. I think men should take classes on women. I think women should take classes on men. Because the first time you start getting introduced to the opposite sex is when you want to fall in love. And most people fuck it up. And then women call us dogs. Then we call them hoes and bitches because we don't understand the opposite sex. When you come from the opposite sex, part of who you are is the opposite sex. You're not going to let me learn about women. I ain't talking about sex ed. But we had sex education in class, but we didn't have motherfucking opposite sex in class. Yeah, what?
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches that.
Oh, see, but look who you're talking about. But that ain't doing this system. See what I'm saying? It's got to be slightly different.
But that's what he says within this system, and that's one of the things.
It's a system in a system.
That's what we have to do.
I agree. I agree. I'm in agreement with you. I'm in agreement with you.
We're here. We don't have another home besides this home. So we gotta find a way to
find a way. I agree. Yeah, I agree.
To make it work.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things we gotta do. Even though everybody's not gonna agree because everybody don't follow that theocracy that you talked about. But that's just one of the ways. So we gotta think about how we can get as many of our people possible to understand that.
Well, see, it starts with the babies though. See, people our age, man, they fucked up because they got all these damn years of bullshit behind them and they can't
flush it. You get this, like what you just said, I'm in total agreement with you. Elijah Muhammad and everybody, stuff they was teaching about how they separate the kids, the male from the female, so you can concentrate. So we know that there's a system as black people that we can follow that work, and we still won't do it. You can tell people, man, the Muslims are doing ABC. I done told this story to plenty of people. You know a couple of cats that we know from the neighborhood. Back in the day, these motherfuckers was out here like this. I'm driving down the street on 79th Street. I see, oh, you're Muslim now. I said, I'm neighbor, brother. I'm like, what's up, big dog? What's up, brother, Marv? Now, back in the day, this nigga was like, this nigga was right. So again, there's a system that again, how do you not gravitate, or how do you not promote a system? People don't like Farrakhan. Okay, don't focus on Farrakhan. Get the system that's in place that's working. He's changing the mindset of niggas that I knew some of them that was out here banging. And I see him on 79th Street selling bean pies talking about good afternoon. I'm like, what's up, brother? What's up, brother Marv? How you doing? It's nice to see you, dog. It's nice to see you too, my brother. Let me get a paper from you, brother. Now, 20 years ago, that nigga wasn't talking, he was talking that shit. Where these hoes at? hey, dog. Look, I'm saying because what do we do as black people? How do you start the game? Because even when you introduce that to people, even for example the Bible, I believe in a higher power. I have a problem with the version of the Bible that they teach out of, that they preach out of, because the book was changed. Everybody knows.
They backed it up.
I agree. The King James Version, I always ask this question to people that go to church. Who was King James? And why does he have his version of the Bible when he's not in the Bible? See what I'm saying? I mean, no, and then when you ask those questions, well, this is just the version of the Bible that Pastor preached from. Yeah, don't be dismissive with my question. You know, we need to talk about what I'm asking you. Why did we study from that version of the Bible? Because the information I got on King James, my man wasn't know nothing.
But peep this. It's something you said earlier, right? So we don't know, right? They said that the first rule of nature is self-preservation, right?
Yeah.
But that's for animals. The first rule for man is to know yourself.
Yep.
That's how you thrive in society.
Yeah.
So we go back to what you said. We're not taught to know ourselves. That's why we stay in survival mode. We stay in animal mode.
Listen, they're gonna teach me to be you. And it doesn't fit. Same analogy you gave about the shoe. It doesn't fit because it never fit because I'm not you. I am one of one. So it's important for you to teach me who I am,
I know
right?
what your gift is.
All right, it's in my connection to the Creator, so I can shine the way God intended for me to shine.
They teach you.
That goes back to the theocracy, though.
I agree.
You're tapping into your natural ability to become the best version of that person.
Yeah.
And then now what do? You become a servant using those abilities to help other people, to help you with your abilities, to help you with your ability. And we all feed off each other that way, and that's how you create a community.
Watch this. Let me ask y'all the question. All of us, I have, let me answer first. I have, I'll be honest with this question. Any of you ever grown up at whatever age, whether, 12, 14, 20, 30, 40, and you pretended or you imitated somebody else outside of your father?
Between what ages?
Any age, 12, 20, 30, any age. You ever find yourself when you was growing up, I imitate my man because he cool, or Michael Jordan, etc.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So why not be that excited about who you are? You don't, because you don't know who you are. So you start to get excited about somebody that they help polish. Didn't nobody help polish you because the information they was downloading to you was getting you off track. So now nobody wants to be confused. What do confused people do? You stop. You ever been driving to get lost, like, oh shit, where am I at? This is what we do on the planet. Then we be like, he's dumb. No, he ain't dumb. He's trying to figure it out. So this is why I tell people, I'm far from dumb, but I learned I remember a long time ago when I became a little not so interested in school because I'm like, this shit don't make sense to me. In my spirit, it just didn't connect. I'm like, I'm smart, but I'm like, why are we learning about all these white men?
U.S. history.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand U.S. history.
And I'm like, I remember in February, Martin Luther King, and it's the one paragraph in the book, and I'm like, why? It's one paragraph. Martin Luther King, he did such and such and such and such. Next page, Abraham Lincoln. Freeze. I'm like, God damn, we out of Black history already? And I said it because
we got a page and a half, didn't we?
You think what you said? 300 pages, you got 3 pages. But I'm saying that to say, well, no, and I say this. I think another problem with black folk, I'm not knocking anybody's education or anybody's vocabulary, anybody's vernacular, whatever fucking words you want to use. But what we don't do is we don't use words that are effective because everybody doesn't have the same vocabulary as you. And people don't know how to drop levels to bring people up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I say shit like, we all walk and we all operate out of order. Everything has an order. If all of us start counting at the same time, regardless of the language, everybody will start with what number first? 1. But nobody's going to start out, everybody start counting. 3, 4, they're like, why you counting out of order? We're operating out of order because you was taught to operate out of order. Everything in the universe has an order. You know what I'm saying? Again, but when they teach you how to operate out of order and it becomes norm, just like rap music, it ain't conscious rap no more. The music is out of order, so the kids are acting out of order. Nobody stopped that train. Nobody wants to address it.
As a matter of fact, they promote it. There's record companies.
They want you to operate out of order.
Murder, drill.
But Mark, they make money off of us operating out of order because the laws require you to operate in order. So if I get the niggas operating out of order, we got to still make money off of lock these niggas up.
Yep.
So until somebody starts saying shit like this where it's relatable, I don't need these big educated Ivy League words that's going over people's head. Then they go home not learning shit after they heard you talk for an hour because you don't know how to be relatable. That's why I'm like, fuck that trying to sound smart shit. Let's sound relatable and effective where these kids can start making change. Like, okay, I feel what my man said. Come here, let me cuff you, young brother. Let me tell you how this shit go. You need to start doing A, B, C, and D.
It's our job too, if we have children, to find out what our children's strengths are and lead them in that direction. When we were coming up, everybody was taught to play sports. And if you couldn't play sports well, then you were pretty much nobody. If you couldn't hoop, you got no respect.
Or play an instrument.
Right.
If you wasn't singing,
but everybody ain't designed to play ball. So if you don't make it to that next level, you ain't got a plan B. You just sitting around lost.
But also too, guys, I want you to know too. I think you all know this too. You start there, and then you try to elevate people based on when you meet them. When you meet the people where they are, you can bring people up.
I do.
And I do that every day. Because I have people that, when I start there, we have talks, and we talk, about how early in the morning, it's too goddamn early in the morning, we're trying to learn.
Right.
And I said, motherfuckers, I agree with y'all asses. But shit, now that I got you here,
let's do it.
That's why I'm happy.
Yeah.
Because why should I come in pissed off, and we all pissed off, but we all get to beat this motherfucker at 7:30. Right. But what I can do for you is try to meet you halfway. meet you there and bring you up.
Trying to figure
And
it
somebody
out.
even actually said, I'm one of the few people that they actually like because of that. So I take that it must be working.
We need more
But they don't-
teachers like
because
you.
they don't- Well, that's not what everybody wants either.
Yeah.
Like as Marvin said,
Yeah. They
that's
don't
not
want
what
that.
everybody
They don't
wants.
want that.
And so they don't want you necessarily to relate. They just want you to do a job, whether it works or not, because they want you to follow their agenda
Yeah.
But see,
and not reach people the way you're supposed to be reaching people.
But see, they do have testing for children to see where they have proclivity toward, to see where their natural ability lead them to. We don't have it in our communities.
Matter of fact, a lot of our teachers when we were coming up, if they see the smartness in you, they try to, push that down. Like I have a couple of teachers tell me, stop raising your hand so much. Let the other kids answer. That kind of mess up your confidence.
It does.
You're trying to learn, you eager to, show what you know. And my 6th grade teacher was like, shut your ass up. Well, not she said shut your ass up.
She did, but it was that yeah.
But see, another thing is, everybody don't learn the same.
Yeah.
Right.
So you can't put someone who's kinesthetic in a room with somebody who's auditory.
Yep.
They learn differently.
Right.
But the
But you're
game
trying
is
to
set up.
teach them
Yeah.
to learn the
Yeah.
exact same
Right.
way.
This
Yeah.
cookie cutter system
Yeah.
don't work.
That's why I
Everybody.
said, again, I go back to what I said a little while ago. You're going to have to make some adjustments to the system. You ain't got to burn it and crash it. It'd be nice if you did. But you need to start off with some minor adjustments in these major lanes that's affecting people's lives daily, because we understand where our education got us to. But again, if you're not going to teach me who I am, and then if you're not going to teach me how to deal with the opposite sex, we're going to always crash into each other. And then again, we're going to always, men ain't nothing but dogs. Women ain't nothing but hoes and bitches, because there's a lack of understanding.
Yep.
There should be at least a year, if not a 2-year course on how women think and operate. So I get it. I use this example with girls all the time, just so you won't feel that I don't appreciate what you're doing. If I bought you some flowers, what would you say? I said this to a couple of like, I really appreciate it. I said, but if you bought me some flowers, you know what I say? I said, what made you buy me some flowers? Now, I said it in a nice way, but I'm saying that to let you know that don't spend your fucking money on no flowers for me.
Like
You could have bought me.
wasted your money.
Right, you could have bought me. But if you know who I am, if we study each other, if you know who I am, well, I got him a ticket to the Bulls game. Oh, thank you, baby. See what I'm saying? It'll draw a different response from me. Just like if I bought you some tickets to the Bull games and you don't like sports, you'd be like, what made you buy me some Bulls tickets? See what I'm saying?
That's why they have a study based on that. It's called the 5 love languages, right? And so some people need attention and affection.
Yep.
Some people need, they show love by doing acts of
doing-
service
Yep.
and stuff
Yep.
like that. So this goes back to knowing who you are. And you can communicate that.
Yep.
Look, this is what I do to show love.
Yeah.
I'm always giving to people.
Yeah.
That's what I do. Somebody else say, I always show affection to people, and I buy you gifts, so I do this. And once you understand these things, it makes it simpler.
Yeah.
But when you don't have that information, it's chaos.
I agree. And
Like it is now.
Look, I use myself as an example. I remember going on a few dates, and I shared this with y'all before. I stopped the bus. The first date, I was like, look, we about to talk. Did you feel, baby? Get her a glass of wine, and we talk. I would say, let's just say the last 5 girls I dated with the last 5. 3 of them were like, I've never had this kind of conversation. All I did was took them on a journey. Let me tell you how I operate. And if it don't make sense to you, it's okay, because ain't no emotions involved. So we won't be arguing and cursing each other out later on. This is what I do, this is what I don't do. Tell me what you do. So if I like what you do, I keep it moving, and we can kind of go from there. If I don't like what you do, after tonight, thank you for going on a date, maybe we should stop. We don't know how to address people the proper way, because most of us don't know who we are. So then you go on a date being phony. I done seen niggas go on dates and the bill is $45. This nigga going out pulling out, he done got his check for $400. He pulled out the whole $400 knowing that's your fucking bill money. Nigga.
Trying to be in the
Right.
mode.
It amazes me. I think when you go out, when I be reading cats doing, I'm like, man, my man, he a show off. Because most guys, when you paying for bills, most guys keep their money low anyway. And it ain't for you, it's for the niggas that's watching over here that's trying to rob you. This is the shit I teach my son. You don't show off for motherfuckers because it ain't about her eyes. You got 100 more eyes. You don't know who up in. Oh, that nigga got ball.
But you know what though? When we was coming up though, it was quote unquote cool to be loud. You know, so that, you know, all the brothers that got attention, they got the girls. You know,
that's true.
The B-boys got the girls.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The B-boys got the girls. Yeah, they got the girls.
Yeah.
So you know, they were loud, they were flashy. You know, the cars, the rims. You know, my average ass coming in there with my khakis on and
and your doctor. So.
Yeah, I'm like, ain't nobody looking at me.
But why are they loud though? Because they got low self-esteem.
Yep.
They need attention.
Hey, and he was imitating a man, which is your father, because I wasn't loud. Because again, my
Hey man, I'm loud.
look, no, with time you got louder. I remember you were a little bit more subtle back in the day, but I remember, and I'm gonna say this because he meant well when he used to always say this. And he used to always say, "Man, I'm great." In comparison to a lot of guys that I know, and these are cats that I'm cool with, and they was on some bullshit. I can really say this cat never been on no bullshit as far as dating women. You know, we all play the game a little bit. I'm not gonna say this dude was no angel. He wasn't no goddamn Ace Steve on some of these hoes.
Hey, my wife might be watching, man.
I'm talking about before you.
I'm a before man.
Yeah, but I mean, we were all sort of different where we kind of had the respect level first. I never really can recall anybody, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, can you think of anybody on the block that was just on some raggedy shit with girls? Just raggedy shit, like this nigga just straight, he a dog.
Nah, we weren't raggedy.
Now, again, we did a little slick shit. You know, we men, we young, we don't know the game. We're not mature. You know, we're growing into that. But nobody was just straight dogs that I can think of that we grew up on the block with, because you had a lot of real men on the block that didn't portray themselves.
Yeah, it was a line we wouldn't cross.
Yeah,
I mean, like you say, we did our little dirt or whatever, but at the same time, it was a line
that I wasn't willing to go across. You wouldn't cross, so yeah. That's interesting.
But going back to your point, see, by us not knowing ourselves, we constantly stay in this, hand-to-mouth situation all the time. We don't ever have no room to stretch and relax and be like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah.
We don't have time for that because we stay in survival mode.
Yeah.
Again, when you know yourself, imagine whatever your gift is. If you was raised up with it to the point you are at this age right now, you would be a master.
Yeah.
A master.
I would be a millionaire.
You would be a servant of your gift to help other
people get there.
And what's the law of reciprocity says, you give to what?
To
receive. And if we all were doing that, who's struggling?
Yeah.
Nobody is struggling.
That's why you gotta change the system. I agree.
But that's how it was, you know, before we got enslaved. That's how our society
Exactly, because it was a theocracy. We already knew the laws were set a certain kind of way.
Yep.
We understood that relationship to that. Then we get over here, amnesia. Now we got somebody else's mind planted in us.
Let's speak English.
Let's speak English.
And that's not our
What the
language.
fuck is this shit right here? Now it's like we move. We supposed to be going right to left. We going left to right.
Yeah,
like I said, we got the left shoe on the right foot, the right shoe on the left foot. Everything is all fucked up. And we haven't stopped to say, but some people did. Black Wall Street said, you know what, man, this shit ain't right.
Yeah. And
they said they figured it out.
Yeah.
The best way to do this shit is, hey, let me help you. Let me help you. Let me help you. You help him. We all start helping each other. This will help us to come up.
Yeah.
And they said, you know, the powers that be saw that and like they were like, no, this can't happen.
In 10 years, no. Black Wall Street happened in the 1920s.
Yep.
Yeah.
Before that, actually.
Before that, it was started.
It started like what, the late 1800s maybe, or the early 1900s.
In the early 1900s, our people were released from slavery in 1865.
So basically, all it took was 40 years.
It took 40 years to create that. Now we supposed to be monkeys and all this other dumb shit, right? So monkeys can create a whole society for themselves,
right,
that's independent of the government.
Right.
Man, they had to stop that fucking narrative. Like,
But
hell no.
I think you kind of proved my point as to why we're taught how to lose, because think about what you're saying. We fresh out of slavery and we did it. So that means these cats wasn't educated. Wasn't no construction schools. How you build that shit? That's off the gift from what the Creator gave you. So if I can download this bullshit in you and again get you operating out of order, we hadn't had no Black Wall Street yet?
They rebuilt it.
But it ain't what it was, right?
You know how they stomp that out? They stomp it out by they take our best from us,
Yeah.
and they hire them and pay them a lot of money in their corporation. That way, our best never come back to the community and build up the community.
I'm in agreement. Yeah.
But we have our, and I know I'm always the anti-opposite guy. We have our Martha's Vineyards and places like that where black people run things, and those
that's
areas.
just one part of the country.
That's just one part, but that's a start.
But
You know, one of the things that we gotta do, guys, we gotta enlighten.
I'm agreeing with
so
you. I'm
we can,
New Yorkers are kind of always ahead of the curve.
You got,
They are.
you get better by learning
have
from
a
each
better
other
education system.
and enlightening each other. I know he asked that question. That's what sparked that thought. Well, have we have. I don't think we've duplicated it at that level. But you have to also remember too, industry within our country helped us with that, because in the Black Wall Street you had the oil industry and things where we could build our own. But the key what he talked about was giving back to each other. That's something no matter what system we are in, if we continue to do that,
Yeah.
We will thrive.
then we will thrive.
I
So
agree.
that's the part where we can control. If we giving back to each other, 'cause even though again with the Black Wall Street they had the oil industry where they made their money, that still was an outside entity where you had to bring that money in. But the key was to keep that money in.
Yeah, circulated within
We can control that part, but we
yeah.
got to reduplicate that over and over. That part we can control.
But even let's not even deal with this Black Wall Street. When our ancestors were released from that environment of slavery, they had to rely on each other because they didn't have nothing.
Right.
They had no land. They didn't have no house. They had nothing. They had to rely on each other to the point where it was like we got our own stuff. Because if they was on some, I got mine, you better get yours type shit, we'd still be looking like that right now.
Looking like that, yep.
Everybody had to rely on each other. So if I didn't have sugar and you had Kool-Aid, we worked together. You know what I'm saying?
We both gonna drink.
We both gonna drink.
We both gonna drink. Yeah.
So we don't even have that part in this environment today, because we've been taught that, man, you can't trust nobody. Everything we see in the world is a result of trust.
Yeah.
The person who conceived it did not design it. They had to trust somebody to put it together. This condo we in right now, Marvin did not build it, y'all. He did not. Somebody came up, the engineer, the architect came up with the plans. They laid it out. They built the walls. They built all the structure around it because someone said, I don't know how to do it, but let me find somebody who can. And I trust that person to do it. But what else is that attached to? It's attached to tomorrow, because it ain't gonna happen today. We always saying tomorrow ain't promised, tomorrow ain't promised. How many of y'all have skipped to tomorrow yet?
As long as we've been on Earth, we
You ain't never skipped to tomorrow, right? So the beauty of that is we don't know when we're gonna leave here. That is the beauty.
I don't want to know when I'm going to leave.
I don't either.
Because then you be living in, regret and fear. Like, damn, I only got 3 weeks left.
Right.
Who wants to live like that?
But we keep saying, oh man, tomorrow ain't promised. Which means we're giving up on tomorrow.
Giving up, right.
The promise lives in tomorrow.
Right.
When you got a plan of action on how to get there.
Power in the tongue.
So we keep saying tomorrow ain't promised. Oh man, you can't trust nobody. Well hell, that's why we ain't got nothing.
Right. And look at the result of that.
Look at the result of saying, don't think the power to the tongue, right? Look at the result of that. Because these are the things we've been taught to say. And look at the result. I was watching I was watching something the other day, and the guy was like, man, we all fucked up, man, because we can't get it together and shit like that. Like,
with the lottery ticket with Bow Wow.
Yeah.
I knew you was talking.
Yeah, I'm like,
on the roof.
Yeah.
The dude was wilding out.
I'm like,
We fucked up. We broke. You got the power to change that.
Man, it's the mind.
It's the mindset, right?
It's the mind. We got white people do the exact opposite of what the shit we doing. Asians do the exact opposite of the shit we doing. Arabs do the exact opposite of the shit we doing. Jews do the exact opposite of the shit we doing. And they all fucking winning.
But let me say this, man. I think part of the reason why we're taught, especially black folk, because we've always been singled out around the globe. I think white men know that we are the closest thing to the Creator, so they deny Him. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody knows. Again, I just to paint this picture in people's mind, we are all sitting on top of a ball that's sitting out in space.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You're not in no house. You're on top of a ball sitting out in space. They call it planet Earth. And we're all just sitting here. As big as the universe is, what is that keeps us from floating away?
Right.
What is that keeps us from getting too close to the sun? There's got to be a natural power. Nobody can reproduce another body. I don't care if you get operated on. They can't give you a new arm. They can try to save your arm. It may be damaged. They don't know how to repair them ligaments where it's going to work like new, like it was when we first got on the planet Earth. I think that white men know that, especially black men. As I always say this, the white man's worst nightmare is the educated black man. I believe that. Because we just naturally gifted off the cuff. This is why they be so fascinated when they allow us to dominate the lane like sports. When you see people like LeBron, Michael Jordan, they say, how did you do that? Hell, I wasn't on LeBron status. I remember guys asking my dad when I was 10, 11, what camp are you sending him to? And you know, we was just, this was my camp right here, playing against these cats, but we didn't have these big time facilities to go in there and they're teaching us how to do A, B, and C. We taught ourselves and taught each other. So when we start to compete with other people, we find ourselves to be some of the top of the food chain people, you know what I'm saying? But imagine if you made it fair for us. If you just made it fair, we don't want your shit.
Don't want fair, they'll be at the bottom.
But Mark, even if you made it fair, we would have our own areas like Black Wall Street. We don't want your areas. We stay in your neighborhood, we stay over here. But there's got to be something to you need that's in your area so you can keep making money off of us, whether it's good or bad.
I just feel like, you know, the joke is on us. And everybody else know the joke, but they ain't told us the joke. That's why we walking around with no culture, no memory, no nothing. They know who we are, but if they tell us who we are, then that means the end of their reign.
But how do you do this? Even spiritually, how do you, if we're the first man on the planet, which is a black man, how do you go to these white seminaries? Is it seminary schools? Yeah. How do you go to the white schools from the second man to learn about the first man? That's like your son teaching you how to be his dad, and he's 2 years old. It can't happen. If you've been on the planet way before them, how do they teach you how to connect with the Creator?
They can't, because they don't have a connection.
I'm in agreement. So why you, again, I asked the question that I asked about a half hour ago. Why you got me reading out the King James Version of the Bible? Is it to keep me confused?
It's to keep you confused.
But also, you gotta look at this from their perspective. We are the devil to them. Because we represent everything that can destroy them because of what they did.
Look.
We're the devil.
Look.
They put themselves at the godly status, right? They put us at the bottom, which is the devil status, right?
Right.
We are the ones that they're hoping don't convince the world to say, hey, these are the people who are the ones who fucking everything up, not us. We innocent.
Right.
But we get blamed for everything.
We get blamed for everything, but we at the bottom.
We at the bottom.
But you know, Ted, I disagree with you a little bit. I don't think they look at us as the devil. I think they look at us as God. This is why they try so hard to keep us off balance. You know, I'm going to miseducate you because if you ever tap into that power, we in trouble.
They done.
Well, right, so I'm going to miseducate you. Everybody, you don't even speak the King's English. Again, you don't even speak your regular homeland language. Again, I mean, your education is wrong. You don't know who you are. You don't know nobody knows their upline. I mean, all of us sitting here, none of us can go no farther than maybe your grandparents. I don't know nothing about my great grandparents.
After my grandparents, I don't know.
But that's my point. So you looking 2 levels up.
Yeah.
Man, you got 50 levels up. You only can go 2. You're 48 short.
Right.
How are you gonna connect back to the Creator unless you disconnect from the system that fucked you over? Again, here we go again. We get a new president in 60 days.
He ain't gonna
Everything's right because the system is designed for you not to win. I'm in agreement. But we can giggle about it and I'm cool with it, but you know, 6 months from now the game remains the same. They're gonna let you come to the game, but you can't come in and watch. You gotta stand in the parking lot. Here we go again, it's the same old same. And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna look at each other and say the same shit 2 years from now, we need to get it together. But the game is designed for you not to get it together.
Yeah.
Until you start saying shit like that, it's never gonna change.
That's why I say we need to build more into entrepreneurship. The reason why I say it because in entrepreneurship, you find out more about yourself. You find out what you really made of.
Yeah.
And there's no struggle on your ass.
Test.
Because you like, God damn, I'm gonna get my ass.
Yeah. And they do make you jump through hoops because we were fortunate enough to get a business loan. But remember, we had to jump through hoops to get that loan. Even though we failed, you know, at least we got invited to the party. So we just kind of mismanaged it a little bit. But if we had to do it over again, we know what we did wrong, and then maybe we can rise from.
But think about you as a 30 or 40-year-old man. You just learning about business. Why you didn't teach me that in 8th grade? You taught me all this other bullshit.
They taught you how to be a slave.
Wait, you taught me about all these slave owners, but you didn't teach me how to get out of my condition. And then when I'm not able to get out of my condition, you need to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. When you taught me how to lose this shit, now you're gonna make me feel bad for you teaching me how to lose. Nobody knows how to address this shit unless you're gonna change the system. Who give a fuck what you teaching? This shit is designed to take you so far. I'm not saying don't get educated, but please understand you're not about to take over the world. Unless you're gonna unite as a force of black people, get your shit together and really do your research to find out where you really originate from. Again, think about this is sad. All of us sitting here, we don't know no more than 2 levels up. Your parents and your grandparents. You don't know who your great-grandparents are. You don't know who your great-great-great-grandparents.
I know one of my great-grandparents.
That's phenomenal. I've heard of mine, but I never met them. I don't know. I ain't seen no pictures. You know what I'm saying? It's just, oh man, I remember that. Man, that's a nice story. Then you looking at white folk. Here go George Bush the first, and this is George Bush the 10th. You know what I'm saying? Like that, he 9 levels up.
Yeah, he know his lineage.
Right, but you don't know nothing. You know,
right. Ours has been wiped clean.
But look, we still carry their last names.
I agree.
That's a violation.
That is a violation.
That is a violation.
Why you think you had so many cats? Once they came into that knowledge, they changed their name to X.
Yep.
Because they ain't want no part of Johnson no more.
Yep. It's a violation.
Yeah.
See, I think that's why we're in the condition we're in the most, is because we breaking all the, not just man's law, we breaking God's law.
Universal laws. Yeah.
We're breaking universal laws. If the first law is to know yourself and we don't know ourselves, you're supposed to get the shit you get. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to get this shit. If you don't understand the law of cause and effect, you don't understand the law of give to receive.
But you know what? We had help being put in this condition.
Yes.
We weren't taught to know ourselves.
No.
You know, we were taught to go to school, go to college, get a job, work for the man.
And pretend.
And then once you go to that job interview, you got to bullshit just so he might hire you. Because chances are he's probably not going to hire you.
Well, you can't even really say who you are in a job interview. So you get an A in pretending. You take
right.
What you taking this semester? I'm taking. I got pretending A and 1 and 2. For example, when you meet people, most people pretend because you don't know how to be who you are. That's why I go back to what I was saying about me going on a date. Like the last few girls I dated, I stopped everything. Baby, let's talk. First day, whatever you eat, do you drink? Get her a glass of wine. Let's just talk. Again, when you start, I can tell you how many times I've never talked to a guy like this before. And this is level 1 shit to me. And I'm like, we need to figure out why we shouldn't go on a second date. I'm not gonna bullshit. This is what I do, and if it don't fit your system, I'm cool with that. And it should be easy for you to express yourself, baby, because ain't no feelings involved. Oh, I told him I love him. This our first date. Let's put everything on the table.
You know what though? That works for a lot of, sisters that got something on the ball. But some of these sisters, man, they don't want a brother that's that direct.
And that's cool.
They want a brother to lie to them.
But Mark, that's cool. Those are the girls that I don't need. And right. I could tell as the night going on, like, oh, we ain't going out no more. We ain't going out no more. I've been to
like,
that.
You got some sisters, they want a thug.
I'm in agreement with you. So when you're going through the process, you can be like, oh, she's looking for a bullshit dude. Mm-hmm. And you be like, okay, then
they want to cry when he busts them upside the head. But but you put it out there, you want a thug. You want a nigga that make fast money. Because you don't want a 9-to-5 nigga. Remember that video I sent me or whatever? Yeah. They don't want a 9-to-5 nigga, they want a fast money brother. If you ain't a fast money brother, if you ain't bringing in 10 grand a day or some shit like that, she can't mess with you.
But even with that, look how that's been marketed, man. You know how many people are 6 figures or above? It's less than 1
It's
fucking
less,
percent.
it's less than 1%.
Less than 1% of black people. It's less than 1%. And you gonna market that shit to the
But you know
world?
what's even worse? When you meet a girl, I don't care how she look, and you let her send you through the ringer, and you pretending like you got it going on.
Yeah.
You better check. You buy her $1,200 purses and shit, and you work at the Walgreens.
Right.
And I'm not knocking you working at the Walgreens, but you know you can't afford to keep up with that. Why would you let her put you in that box like that?
Right.
I look like, baby, you want me to buy you a
But,
watch?
but what is she bringing to the table? She's saying she want this, but your raggedy green-haired ass ain't bringing shit to the table.
Hey,
But you know why? Because she's looking for a parent. She don't want to be a partner. She's looking for someone to take care of her.
or
Right.
food.
So who takes care of children? Parents, right?
Parents.
He or she is looking for a parent.
She's trying to be a doctor.
I'm trying to get something that my parents naturally did not give me.
Right.
So
She
if you
wants a sponsor.
She right, she wants to sponsor it. That's pimping right there.
Mhm.
But see, the thing is, we have been fooled into thinking that materialism will boost our value. Right?
Right.
Let me ask you this: if any of y'all was worth $6 million and you were single men, and a woman, you go to a bar, should the woman be buying you a drink or should you be buying her a drink?
Honestly, people ain't gonna like this answer.
I already know what I'm saying.
I'm the prize, so she should be buying me a drink.
Sanjay, you a person of value, right?
Right.
Anything that has a value, you're supposed to pay for that. You coming off the street, I done proved myself. I'm 6 figures. I mean, I'm $6 million.
But see, I'm the type of brother they wouldn't even know it.
I wouldn't either.
I'll be wearing my khakis
Yeah.
and my polo.
Right.
But yeah, I just like the average dude.
But that's what I'm talking about, though.
Okay.
When you're the person of value, you're supposed to be paying for that which is valuable. They'll spend $1,200 on a fucking Birkin. They'll spend $5,000 on some red bottoms.
Right.
That shit is valuable, right? So how come you don't see the value in somebody who's worked hard and diligent to build themselves up, to be worthy to be in a company?
Yeah, I'm in agreement with
But
you.
you gotta, brothers like that gotta be careful too, because they trying to snatch the bag.
Oh, absolutely.
They'll be with you like 5, maybe 10 years, squeeze out a couple of kids, and then they'll say, I ain't in love with this nigga no more, so let me take half his shit.
Dr. Dre wife,
Yeah.
she want $2 million a month.
You gotta brothers like that gotta
$2
be careful. They gotta be careful. I ain't saying that, that's just a small percentage of women that are on that bullshit.
All right, we had to have a quick break, even though we didn't let y'all know. And fuck it, we starting over again. So we gonna pick up where Mark left off at when he was talking about wearing his khakis and his polo and not letting these hoes know what he got.
But my wife know. My wife will tell him, well, he ain't got shit. We got shit.
Right. But no, I was saying that part about showing your value is because we don't value each other. We don't see the God in you. When we look at each other, we see a come up. We see a hustle. We see what's the word they be talking about? It's a lick.
A lick, yep.
Yeah, everything's a fucking lick.
Opportunity.
Look, the best lick in the world is working hard. That's the best lick. When you focused
And put that time in.
and on the shit you want, you put that time in, that's the best fucking lick in the world. Because you know what? You're putting time towards something. You committed, you're consistent, you're disciplined. And you'll get the result from that lick.
And that makes sense if you're able to stay focused, but they make it so hard for you to be focused because again,
They don't have a formula.
Yeah.
But the formula is, I've read somewhere that if you dedicate 10,000 hours in what what your passion is, you can't help but become an expert at it. But you got to put that work in. You got to have, it ain't no shortcuts. You got to put that 10,000 hours in.
So
Once you get that 10,000 hours, then you know what you're doing.
But what does it say about today's society? Because these kids' lack of focus is.
They want everything yesterday, but they don't want to put the work in.
Well, it's a microwave society now,
Yeah.
and it's sad, but it's true.
Ain't no way past that. You got to put them 10,000 hours in.
The answer, Marv, is hard because people don't want to hear the answer, especially if it's something that we're not doing. Because the bottom line is if people are not putting the work in, you're not going to get the result. And people don't necessarily, want to hear that, but,
Right.
but the truth hurts.
It's the truth though.
That's another saying. The truth hurts.
The truth hurts.
Yeah.
Just like, when we was banging it out, playing baseball. We think about all the hours we putting into that sport. All of us were cold.
See, but that's my point. What camps did we go to?
Right.
This was the camp. We used to play at 10 in the morning. We'll come back
Till the sun go down.
at 2 o'clock and play again. And then we may end up playing basketball, and then, we were just always into something, man. We would have camped for each other, and this is how we got good. So I'm in agreement with you. We probably didn't put in over 10,000 hours. So when we started playing
10,000
ball, yeah, well, we was playing at 8, 9 years old. So by the time we started playing organized ball, it was just, these cats are different. Yeah, we playing with each other on the block.
And we weren't necessarily, I'm gonna say this, all of us weren't necessarily designed to, quote unquote, play baseball, even though all of us were good at it. We couldn't help but get good because that's all we did. But we had, some of us had other strengths. But our main focus was baseball. Everybody on the block could play baseball because that's all we did. Even though none of us went to that next level, I think, Eddie, you played college ball. But outside of that, none of us played beyond, the high school level, but we could have. But life get in the way, and other things pop up. And that wasn't necessarily our strengths. We were all good at it, but some of us were better at other things. Like Marvin could have went pro in football. He was as good as he was in baseball. He was even better in football. So. But nobody tell us, play to your strengths. We just get out there and go.
That's
where you need a coach.
That's just like playing chess. I'm not gonna play you to your strength. I'm gonna play you to your weakness.
Right.
And that's what society does. It plays black people to their weakness, unless I can make money off you.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'm gonna make more money off you.
More money than you.
I can't let you think that you're better than me. And that's why we keep losing this game.
We keep losing, right?
We're to be at this point where black people are at right now shows the level of intelligence that we have. That we're there. We just need to switch it on to it. We need to go to another level with it.
I'm in agreement with you, Lynn, but again, if you don't teach me who I am, and the objective is to keep you off balance, because they know you are the closest thing to God, because we operate, go back to what you were saying, there's a system that we operated under, and we gave the most respect to the Most High. Well, now you operating in a system that, again, they got you reading out the King James Version of the Bible. And I'm not trying to be funny, but think about it. And
that they hacked up.
For those of you who don't know who King James, just Google who he was, read about him. It's just like,
but you know what? They got so many variances of the Bible. It ain't just King James. You probably got at least 30 different variances.
I'm in agreement.
And if you read each one, they didn't flip a verse here, flip the verse there. Like I'll read the King James, and then I'll read another version. Totally different. Yeah, different word. One verse would say something totally different than what the King James version. So they didn't hack the Bible up. Yeah. They didn't hacked it all up.
I heard recently that they're coming out with a version of the Bible where Eve didn't do nothing wrong.
So they're just gonna rewrite history.
Yeah, they're rewriting that part.
Wow.
Because it doesn't fit the narrative of where women are at today.
Wow.
So I'm just like.
So in other words, she didn't bite the apple. She just passed it to Adam. She had nothing to do with it.
Right.
She's like, honey, what's this?
She was innocent.
Right.
And I want to say this too about that, because this is something that I have to tell the sisters who are watching this. Be accountable for your actions. Please, because I know y'all believe in the sugar and spice and everything nice, but you're human. You make mistakes. We all do. Men are not the only ones that mess up. Women, I know plenty of women who mess up, and I'm not beating you down, but y'all make a lot of mistakes too, but you don't want to be held accountable for them. You just don't. And because you want someone to come and save you. Now, this is what I would say in relationship to men and with women who mess up. I learned this from the Godfather. He said, women and children can afford to mess up, but men can't. Because if a man mess up, the family is messed up. I'm in total agreement with
Yeah, in a patriarchal society, but they didn't water that down too. We ain't even in the patriarchy.
But
We in the matriarchy.
I'm just saying, but you didn't walk men away
You
from
walked
the
us the hell
family.
out of here.
Again, so that whole structure is been eroded.
that. We
So
see the chaos now.
I'm in agreement. So again, you can't take away a major part. That's part of the reason why you're here. That God created and make it be something that man wanted to be because you want to act like a 2-year-old. So this is what you get. We all see the chaos and the misunderstandings and the lack of education and the lack of togetherness and the disrespect. And the first thing we serve each other is disrespect. Again,
What they saying is, what we saying right now is called toxic masculinity. We're being toxic right now for telling the truth.
you being toxic for just doing man shit.
Right.
How you gonna clown me for doing what I do, but I can't clown you for the bullshit that you do? It's just.
You can't,
Because that's the way
society has set it up that women are always the victims.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's bullshit.
Okay.
Because how many women have gamed on men? How many men have been set up by women?
We came in the game being gamed on. That was game 101. Going to the club. Went behind the ears. We don't know shit. We going in there. It's all a game.
Yeah.
You better learn fast because if you don't, you gonna get clowned.
Yeah.
They looking for a sucker.
They're looking for a sucker every minute.
Yeah.
So, I just have to throw that out there. Women, I love women, but I love accountable women. I love women who could own up to her shit and be like, I fucked that up.
But we all bring a little bullshit to the table. I have no problem with admitting that. Ain't nobody perfect. Everybody don't always smile that you dating or that you married to. Your wife or your girlfriend ain't smiling at everything you do. She frowning, walk the fuck away from you because you getting on her nerve. But guess what? Y'all do the same with us.
Right.
Everybody bring a little bullshit to the table, but society's setting it up as if women can't do no wrong, and that's not fair. So as a result of that, we're going to continue to clash.
But smart women know that.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
Plus, you want a woman that's going to tell you your shit don't stink too sometimes. That's going to hold your feet to the fire. You don't want nobody kissing your ass.
No.
You're going to think you're great when you really not all that great.
Exactly.
You need that balance. Just like, when they fucking up, you supposed to tell them, they fucking up.
Yeah.
And then, they accept it and then, you move on from it. But to say that, hey, our woman this, I don't subscribe to that, woman is God and, they can do no wrong
No, absolutely.
I gotta do everything in my power to make a woman happy and happy what's that?
Happy wife, happy life. No, I don't believe in none of that.
Shit, both of us gotta be happy.
Yeah.
If both of us ain't happy, then it ain't no happy life.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we forget, that like they always talk about African society was matriarchal or patriarchal. It was parental, man. The two people had to work together to maintain a family.
Right.
And I think that's what we don't. That's why this shit is chaotic here, because it's not parental. The mother and the father have to work together.
Right.
That's teamwork.
It's teamwork. Right. Ain't no dictatorship.
Ain't no dictatorship. Okay, I might be the head of the household, but I still got to consult with my woman. She my partner.
Right. I can't just do what I want to do. I'm gonna take my check and go to the boat and just blow it all and shit. Then I come home with empty pockets. She's like, how we gonna pay the bill?
Nah, it can't be like that. It's got to be responsibility.
Right.
And with that, I want everyone to get better. I mean, I know we jumped around from topic to topic, but at the end of the day, black people, the key to us getting better is to know ourselves. That's the key. That is the key. That's always been the key. It's been written on the temples of every walls. Know yourself. That's the key. Because we're not animals. We're not made to be in survival mode. When you know yourself, you'll know your gifts, you'll know your talents, you'll know your abilities, you know your capabilities. And you can achieve. Like, I'm not the best person at math. If I study math right now, at best, I might be a 6. And that's not my strong suit. I don't have that kind of analytical mind to go into that like that. But when it comes to communication, when it comes to helping people solve problems, with their own personal life, I'm constantly breaking new laws, new records for myself, because that's who I am internally. That's my gift to the world.
Yeah.
So I'm not the person that say don't work on your weaknesses. You use your strengths to work on your weaknesses to strengthen your strengths.
Right.
But a lot of us don't know shit, and that's the damn problem.
That's the problem.
We trying to imitate the next person. And that's why it's like a damn cloning facility. When I look outside, I see the youth. Everybody dressed the fucking same. Why you be you?
Hands off your ass.
Pants off your ass. Everyone talking. Everybody mumbling now. Ain't nobody enunciating words anymore. It's like, I was watching this video last night. These young rappers, they were critiquing Busta Rhymes' song, Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See, right? And
one of the coldest rappers ever.
Absolutely. Great new album, as a matter of fact. And one rapper was like, I pulled the video back. He's like, what did I just say? I'm like, oh, he said, I don't know what this motherfucker doing. And I'm like, when did that become the language? It's fucked up we already speak English. Now you gonna speak a version of English that I can't even understand?
Maybe his teacher, when he was coming up to him to shut the fuck up. So that's how he mumbled.
Maybe.
I don't know what they teach these young black men, but whatever it is, pull your pants up.
Pull your pants up.
Please pull your
Nobody wants to see
I don't want to see
drawers.
your ass.
Somebody filmed this one dude in Walmart one day. He had a stain in his and he was just laughing and he was following. I'm like, God damn.
Man.
Really?
Dirty ass nigga.
I'm like, oh shit. And he been quiet the last 20 minutes.
Listening and laughing. That's all.
Okay.
Listening and laughing, man, and just trying to figure out ways to get out of the hole. Things like they say, find solutions, guys.
One thing I like about the four of us, all of us are solution oriented.
Yeah.
We want to help people, but we first thing first, we got to recognize, man, something about the system that we operate under. There's got to be some minor tweaks to it, because it doesn't work for everybody, and you can identify the people that it's not working for. And it's sad, but what you just stated, the first person or the first group that the new president want to come in and help are the people that don't need the help first. The people that need the help first, he ain't paying no attention to.
That's always the agenda, though.
But the people that he ain't paying attention to were the people that got him over the top. And here we go again, it's the same bullshit. It's different bus drivers. Driving the same motherfucking bus down the same road. We're going to be played the same way. Here we go again. 4 years later, they're going to put somebody else new on there and they're going to stroke us emotionally. And then the women going to be mad at that. Oh, black men voting for the opposite. We all supposed to say Democrat again. I just want us to win, regardless of the party. Why don't we just start going off of what we need? Fuck the party game, because the shit ain't been working
It ain't
for the last 30 years.
It ain't working for the simple fact they already know they got our vote, so they ain't got to do shit. They can, stroke your ego every 4 years, and then, once they get in office, they ain't gonna do nothing. We all know that. We've been witnessing that for what, the last 30, 40 years. It ain't changed.
When they mentioned reparations, Joe Biden said, I'm not paying for something I ain't had nothing to do with. Why should I give something that I had nothing to do with? But we still suffer from that.
But your ass benefited from what?
Hell yeah, you benefited from it. You from Pennsylvania. I know you benefited
shit,
from it.
they was doing, weren't they doing redlining in the 40s? After the war and shit? He benefited from that shit.
They have a book called When Affirmative Action Was White. When they got all the perks, because the government was just giving them all the free land and all this shit. It was okay then, but then when it was time for us to get affirmative action after the civil rights, oh fuck that, we gotta hire niggers and shit like that now.
You can see it on their face. I remember, I'll never forget this. I was we was in the 7th grade, and right around that time, they started integrating, white kids and black kids. They did that shit for a week, to see how they bust some white kids into our school to see, how we learn, how we operate. and we ended up going to a field trip with him, like a camping exposition. I think it was in either Lake Geneva or Crystal Lake, one of them places. I mean, it was fun. You know, we got to see how they move. They got to see how we move, this, that, and the other. You know, that part of it was cool, but at the same token, I'm pretty sure a lot of them, you know, they ain't want integration. You know, you can see it on their faces. Like you said, I don't want to work with this guy. He shouldn't get a job just because he's black.
Right. And that's the thing about us, man. We so open to everybody else, and everybody's so close to us.
Exactly. We've been witnessing it our whole lives. Just like when, you know, me and Marvin's families, we were some of the first people to move in our neighborhood, and as soon as they saw us two, it was that white flight. You know, one by one, all of them started leaving, and then Eddie came like 4 years later. You know, with his family moved in. I don't think his sister was born yet. I don't remember. I don't know if Karen wasn't born yet. But yeah, and then I say within by 1976, 1977, all the white folks was gone except it was one cat, Mr. Bob, that stayed behind on the opposite side of Marvin on the next street. You know, he was nice, but he was old, so he probably figured, you know, I'm not leaving. You know, he used to give us candy and shit, which was cool. And
there's about 4 white families.
And there was another white family on the 84th block, because we grew on 85th. We grew up on 85th. It was another white family on the 84th block. And they ended up staying. They you know, stayed until they died. But outside of that, everybody else left. Everybody else left. Within a 5-year period, all the motherfuckers were gone.
Wow. And the amazing thing about it is, 35, 40 years later, I did the same thing. That's what I always was amazing to me. How the same thing happened again with my family when I grew up. And I did the same thing. I bought it for people that was getting ready to die. And the same thing happens again over and over.
Right.
You know, and so we just have to, you know, continue to try to, you know, educate and, you know, our people, our children, and get them to understand remember what happened before. So then you can repeat the successes and eliminate the failures.
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing we have.
But we can't control what they do. I mean, if they want to leave, they can leave. You know, we just trying to get to a better situation. To me, it ain't nothing wrong with that. But if you want to see a black face and then run, then, you know, that's on you.
That's on you.
You know, we ain't bringing the property value down. You know, we take care of our shit.
That was a farce anyway. All property values go down. That's what they needed to say in order to sell the property at a lower price. And I want to say this, and this piggyback off of when you was talking about the Elijah Muhammad and how, you know, they built schools and, you know, for separation and stuff like that, so boys can know about women and women can know about boys. Elijah Muhammad made a statement that black people are righteous by nature. He said, but we act out in a devilish way due to circumstance. And I thought that was real profound.
It is profound.
Because we want to do right, but our circumstances
sometimes
won't allow us to be right. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like we're trying to survive.
Not that that's any excuse.
No, it's not.
Because you know, we all had our troubles and our struggles, but at the same time, I can't sell that poison, you know, to my people, man. Just to come up.
Just not. But
it ain't in me.
And then, but even looking at that, most brothers I know, when I was coming up in the 80s, that was not what they wanted to do. It was because they couldn't get a job. Now it turned into a profession.
Yeah.
At first it was like, man, I can't feed my family, man. I got to go out here and hustle this product. And then now, with the money was coming so quick.
But you know what? They was getting it in the 80s. They ain't getting it now.
No, hell no. They ain't getting it today.
But you know, when you railroaded, I was listening to Judge Joe Brown tell the story about these 3 kids that lived down the street from him. This happened like in the last 5 years, where the 2 white kids, one of the little white kids took his parents' car. They went and got his other little white friend and got the little black kid. All of them live in the same neighborhood. Well, so of course the bullshit jumped off. You know, of course they got arrested. Okay, so all of them got to go to court. Well, they took the 2 white kids to the little court in the neighborhood that's kind of familiar with him, and they just gave the kid slap on the wrist. Y'all sit y'all ass down, don't do this shit no more. And he said they sent the black kid about 20 miles away to this like the downtown area, and they gave this motherfucker a record. Now, by the way, he wasn't driving. He wasn't the one that kicked off. Matter of fact, they got caught with weed. But the two white boys go home. The black boys still trying to fight it. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because this is why I don't clown these motherfuckers that sell drugs. You don't know their story. Again, just because you ain't there, you gotta have some sympathy until you hear their fucking story. Because if you got that X on your back, I don't care if it happened when you're 18, now you're 32, you got you a good job, you trying to support your family, then all of a sudden, and we gotta let you go. Why? Because you was selling weed 13 years ago. Right. Again, after you lose 4 or 5 jobs, now your spirit is broken, and now every time you get a good job, now you gotta end up working at 7-Eleven. I'm not calling people that work at 7-Eleven, but if you go from working at IBM to 7-Eleven, you done lost money. So now you can't really support your family. Now you and your wife arguing, your kid ain't got enough good clothes. So now when you go to school, now they teasing your kid all because some shit you did 13 years ago. This is why I don't clown the drug dealers. You don't know their stories. Mm-hmm. So the first thing we do, we want to, man, they need to grow up. No. Fuck that. How does shit get in the neighborhood? You can't put a good job or a good factory in my neighborhood, but you can put this crack in my fucking neighborhood. Here we go again. If you're not going to change this bullshit system, we need to quit blaming each other. You are a victim of circumstance. And I'm not saying that you don't have any righteousness about you, but most of the shit that motherfuckers go outside and see that don't have the right mindset is bullshit.
They like I said, we had help. I saw this video, this young man, this brother, he was saying how, I want to say he probably is from I don't know what part of town he was from, maybe 40th and King Drive, somewhere around there, I don't know where he was. But he said they used to put guns in his, in the alleyway, just a box of, automatic weapons that they don't know where they came from. They just place them in the alley, and then, they say they would just pick them up, and they just
did that a year ago off in Inglewood. They told us it's a box load of guns.
Just sitting in the alley. Nobody know where they came from.
Again, the system itself is. Come on, man. You can't talk about the people that's getting fucked in the system without talking about the system. Again, you got a new bus driver coming in 60 days. Driving the same motherfucking bus, taking you in the same fucking direction. If you're not going to change the system, we can stop all this bullshit. Because 2 years from now, we're going to be, man, this is bullshit. Biden promised us, ain't promised you shit.
Biden ain't going to do shit.
But see,
he's telling you he ain't gonna do shit.
He said that.
When Ice Cube wanted to meet with him, he said, wait till after the election. So basically, he's saying, fuck you. I'm not talking about this shit right now.
We go with this, and then we can kind of wind down because we've been talking for a minute. We know, but okay, what do you do after Biden 4 years? Do you vote for Kamala next? Because she on the same squad, and she already said when she was trying to become president, I'm not doing anything just for black people. No. Oh, by the way, they said she never really claimed to be black until she started needing shit for black folk. The only thing she got to claim for fame was that she was an AK. Yeah, I get it, but even her upline, her mother was what? Indian. Okay, right. But when they said, according to the information I heard, they said she went from preschool to 12th grade in Canada. Mm-hmm. Am I right? And then she came down, and then she went to the little whatever school she went there.
Yeah, I know she was a house.
But you see what I'm saying?
AKA.
It sound like Obama to me. The little disconnect, here we go again. You're getting these cats that don't come from these areas and people don't like to search. Especially when you say Obama. You're not saying nothing wrong about them. I'm not clowning them, but they're not original from the struggle.
But see, her whole thing is, I'm the first black this, I'm the first woman that. That's what she seemed to care about to me. I don't think she really cared about the struggle. I could be wrong because I don't know a whole lot about her, but that's how she come off to me.
Well, she didn't come from the struggle either.
That's my point.
Oh, no.
Right. But that's what I'm saying about Obama. Right. Yeah. She didn't come from the struggle.
That matters. People don't think that matters, but that does.
I mean, that hell of a
it does matter. Hell of a you ain't come from that slave. You don't have that same experience.
Yeah.
In order to do those same stories, then you come from your parents. So that's that disconnect. But that's something we still got to work on.
Yeah.
That's something we still got to work on. We still ain't elected a former slave to run this motherfucker.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, Jesse ran back in
I said we ran, but we ain't elected. We haven't elected that person.
But that's a whole nother story.
We haven't elected that person.
I think we have to recognize that everyone is conspiring against us.
Yep.
And you said everyone is in on the joke except us.
Everybody's in on the joke except us.
And until we hit this level of maturity that we need to hit, that's when things will start to shift. But I think it's going to start with babies.
Possible.
Like,
I think the shift is happening now, though. With this,
no,
pandemic.
there is a shift happening, but I think the new babies that's going to come here, they need to be fed this information the most.
Yep.
Like nonstop, because they'll make the change. They'll make
the change because we pretty much set.
Yeah, we set in our way.
Yeah.
You gotta mold these new children coming into the earth, and to teach them about having pride about being black. You know, not saying you don't have to hate nobody to be proud of yourself.
I don't hate anybody.
Right, me either. I don't hate nobody. I'm just black first, and I'm gonna support black first. But I think that's what it's gonna take. We gotta mold the babies, man, and we gotta show the babies a different environment. If you come into an environment where, you know, some dude, he has to sell drugs in order to feed his family. Okay, you show that child that, but you also show the child the opposite of it. And I think that's what's missing a lot of times. They don't get to see the opposite. And so they constantly fall into what's the circumstance of what's in front of them.
Or they think the only thing we can do is sell drugs, or if I ain't got a wicked jump shot, or if I can't rap, I can't do anything else, which is bullshit to me.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, all of us got a gift. You just got to find out. You got to tap into it and find out what that gift is.
Exactly.
But this cookie cutter system of education teaches us all one way, instead of, you know, trying to find out what that gift is. You know, we as an adults, you know, it's our job to find out, you know, what that kid's gift is, and then, you know, try to cultivate that.
Because I can tell you honestly, and this is how most people, this is how you really discover your gift. If it's really just something you just do, and you just pass it on, well, that's just something I do.
Right.
That's really your gift.
I think so, yeah.
But you don't see no value in it because ain't nobody said it was valuable.
Right.
And you don't see, well, man, how can I monetize that? Because how I found out was a sister I know named Dina, and she was like, you know what, Tez, you're a life coach. I had never heard the term life coach in my life. Like, what the hell is a life coach?
The same thing, what's that guy's name? Tim Robbins?
Tony Robbins.
Tony Robbins, yeah.
So I looked the shit up. And I said, this motherfucker worth $500 million.
Yep.
I said, hold on, I'm doing this shit for free. This is something I do.
Say the guy with the big teeth.
Right, this dude he got a net worth of $500 million doing the same shit I do.
Same shit you do.
I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, Tony Robbins been doing that shit since the 80s, man.
Since actually, I think 79.
Yeah.
So, but my purpose of saying that is, we throw away our gift because we just pass it off as, oh, that's just something
right, this is something I do, right.
When that's really who you are.
That's who you are.
That's
right.
your gift to the world.
Right, right.
Like, when I met Marv, you know, under different circumstances, but when me and him got to talk, I'm like, damn, this dude, he's a profound speaker, you know. He has a keen idea way of looking at things. And then he'll put it in an idea where you see a picture of what he's talking about. I'm like, damn, that's dope. You know what I'm saying? And I know that's how you can influence people, because most people need to see pictures in their mind. And he's very thorough in doing that. He knows how to do that on command.
Right.
So if he's in a situation where he needs to give a speech or something like that, it's easy to grab people's attention because he put pictures in your mind as he's talking. And then you can see exactly everything he's talking about.
And it goes back to what you're saying, how people learn. And like me, I was never an A student, but I also understood that nobody adjusted to make me catch on. And it wasn't that I couldn't catch on. I was just bored with this bullshit that you feed me. And I know this shit that
it didn't resonate with your spirit.
Right, and I'm like, this ain't adding up to me, so you got to give me something different. But the shit that I always needed, I never got until I really got out of high school. And my teacher one of my advanced teachers that I had when I first went to college, he was teaching me some shit about black folk. And the first thing he said to the class was like, you all about to be mad when I start talking. But I know they didn't teach all this. And when he started talking, we start sitting up in our seats. Here we go again, because it just started to connect with your inside. Like, wait a minute, we never heard this. Like, I know. He was from Africa too. He's like, I already know what they didn't teach y'all. Talking about this bullshit system. I'm from Kenya, and this is and you start talking. Like, next thing you know, after class, we all, what's your name again, brother? Yeah, man, what you think about? You know what I'm saying? This first day. You know what I'm saying? Normally you kind of meet a couple of cats. This first day we talk to each other like, did you ever hear about this? Again, Sparky, find a different way to turn people on. So of course I'm in agreement with you, but that's kind of my style. So when I talk, because I want you to get it so bad, I try to paint a picture. Because I understand everybody don't have vision. Because most people vision board been washed away because the system teaches you how to fail. So I'm going to be smart enough so at least when I leave you, you can kind of see sort of what I was saying to you. I'll give you an example. Think about, remember when you used to do such and such and such and such? And I try to make it relatable to something that you probably can identify with. And then you just give them that and get the fuck out the way. But we don't know how to do that sometimes because we want to use these big elaborate words. And I got these cold ass verbal communication skills, nigga. You use the words that nobody can understand and they just turn it off on what you said. You know, why ain't nobody connecting with me? Because you don't know how to come down and bring people up.
It is hard though. You have to be careful because I know I look at my son and I do like you said, when you pass information on. Sometimes when you pass the information on, sometimes you try to make sure you can help them control it. Because one of the things that they do is, in this society now, where I can verbalize myself and keep it where I want to put it and put it where I want it, when they get that information and they get more information and then he puts it out where it may hurt him.
Yeah, on social media.
They
love that social
so it's
media.
hard for me to rein him back in. That's the fear I have, you know, in educating and inspiring, because you want them to do better than you and know more and take what you know you teach them and get even better.
Yeah.
Then you gotta tell them to, you know, be careful.
Yeah. You want them to be.
That's the problem. That's a big problem.
You want them to be Malcolm X, but you want them to control.
Well, like I said,
you don't want them to get on social media and start blasting off at the mouth.
Then he'll tell you, Dad, all you know, I say, hey son, I raised you. Now you're me.
Right.
It's 30 years ago.
Exactly.
Or today, but now you have mechanisms that I didn't have. You gotta be careful.
You gotta use it
And
wisely.
that's the part, you know, you have to be careful with when you give it to the babies.
Yeah, right.
You know, to go out and improve themselves. And they can make sure that they make good decisions, because that's the concern you worry about.
Yeah, right.
What you talk about, like that's the one thing human beings cannot teach is maturity. Only life teaches.
Right.
Yeah, life experience.
We cannot teach maturity. So
you can't. That's something you can't fake until you make it.
You cannot fake
it. It just bleeds right out of your pores. This dude, he don't know what he's talking about.
Right.
You can just see it.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's the hard thing about life is that you cannot teach maturity.
No, you can't.
Life can only teach that.
Exactly.
Your experiences and time will show you, you know, like, damn, that ideology was incorrect right there. Like, damn, I was doing that for X amount of years. Now I see it differently, you know, because you grew.
You grew. You got your ass kicked enough.
Right.
You made the adjustments.
So on that note, y'all, man, this has been a very wonderful, great conversation. Appreciate everybody watching. Hey, hit them comments, leave us, you know, some type of verbiage to let us know what you thought. If you thought it all was bullshit, say, hey, all that was some bullshit. And we gonna respond like, yo, comment is some bullshit. But no, thank y'all for watching. Man, share this with people, you know, if you think that somebody can hear this and get inspired by it.
Yeah.
We really know that what it really takes is you got to know yourself. And when you know yourself, you'll start to thrive in life. You get out of survival mode. You start climbing that ladder. But the thing is, like, you know, you got to be mature with it. You know, like what Eddie was talking about. You just can't throw everything at everybody, you know, because you don't know how they're going to handle it. So thank y'all again. Leave a comment, subscribe, like. I'm Tez.
I'm Big Marv.
Y'all know who the fuck I am.
We're going to check y'all out on the next app. All right, y'all.